My name's Reenee, and today I'm going to talk to you about a little tip or trick that I learned through my studies in Ayurveda. If you're like me and you love dairy and you like to consume a glass of milk every day, you are probably well aware that it is kind of mucus producing. And I learned this through my journey when I came down with pneumonia, and I went to see a naturopath afterwards to recover, and she suggested to me that I needed to eliminate dairy from my diet for a little while, and I noticed a world of difference. So yes, I was convinced that dairy is mucus producing. But I learned in Ayurveda that there's a way to sort of combat this, and that is cardamom. Cardamom are these little green pods, and inside these pods are black seeds, and has a little bit of a sweet flavor to it. A lot of people will just chew on a cardamom pod. It's very refreshing for the mouth and cleanses the breath, but it also helps you digest the milk. And so this is not scientifically proven. This is folklore or Ayurveda. It's certainly something that I noticed in Indian cuisine, that whenever food does contain dairy, especially desserts, there's always cardamom pods thrown into it to help you digest it better. The other tip or trick that I learned, because I still consume golden milk every single night, is that when milk is consumed cold, it's actually harder for you to digest. So the best way to consume cow's milk is warm and with some cardamom pods. So let the pods sort of decoct in the milk for a little bit and then let it cool down a bit and consume your milk. And if you're going to ask me, I'm going to suggest putting turmeric in it and some saffron and really having a nice cup of golden milk. So if you're like me and you love dairy and you love your cheese, I would suggest consuming cheese in moderation. It is hard to digest, and just like cow's milk, cheese should also always be consumed warm. Hot melted cheese, it's a lot easier to digest than cold sort of cheese out of the fridge. The softer the cheese, the easier it is to digest. So kind of bear these things in mind. Also remember, cheese is oily, so it's got a lot of oil, so it's best consumed in dry seasons. So in the fall, I'm thinking October, November, December, you can be a little bit more liberal with your choices. So there you have it, a little bit about dairy. Go ahead, enjoy, but in moderation.